One of the most common questions I get is, what should I declutter and where should I start? Well, here's a list of 75 things that you can declutter in your home. The minute you hear an item that has your head screaming yes, pause this video and go toss it. We're gonna move relatively quickly and let's go room by room. Let's start off in our kitchen. Number one, your containers. We all have containers that are missing lids or don't look, quite frankly, great, and yet we're still keeping them into our cupboards and they take up valuable space. So declutter your containers. Number two, go through your spices. Spices technically do not expire, but they do tend to lose flavor. Number three, old condiments. Guilty! Open that fridge door, go through your condiments, and toss what you don't need. Next, chip dishes and glassware. You know that glass that you sometimes take out and it has a crack, and then instead of getting rid of it, you put it back in your cabinet? Well, it's time to let it go. Next, duplicate kitchen tools. Oftentimes we have so many things that we don't realize that we have like 4 can openers. Why do we need 4 can openers? Why? Next, unused appliances. Appliances take up a lot of valuable real estate and usually counter space. Now, I am so sorry that somebody gifted you an appliance for the holidays and you feel guilty letting it go because it was a gift. But ladies, it is taking up space in your kitchen. Donate it. If you blend nothing, you do not need a blender. Next, expired canned goods. Woo! When was the last time you took a look at that pantry? All those cans that during the pandemic we got a lot of just in case for an emergency. I'm guilty of that. I did it too. I think it's time to go through the cans. Whatever is expired, let it go. If you have a lot of cans that you're actually not going to eat, donate them to a food pantry. Next, old recipe books. Most recipes these days can be found online. I know there's something wonderful about having a recipe book. If you have your favorites, feel free to keep them. Everything else, recycle, donate. Next, excess plastic bags and totes. How many do we actually need? I don't know. I found myself one time having like 19 Target bags. When will I ever need 19 Target bags? Anyways, go through your bags. And lastly, in the kitchen, before we move on to the living room, is outdated kitchen gadgets. Living rooms tend to be the space where we spend a lot of time and therefore have a ton of clutter. So you can start with decluttering magazines and newspapers. Next, move on to unused electronics. They're probably hiding in your coffee table or in your media cabinet. Next, do you still have DVDs and CDs? Might be time to declutter those. But I think these days we pretty much stream everything. Next, and I'm so guilty of this, is excess throw blankets and throw pillows. You might not necessarily need to declutter them all, but maybe edit out. It's also a great idea to switch things out seasonally. And this way, throughout the year, you have all of your things in play. By the way, as a quick hack, for storing your blankets and throw pillows, invest in vacuum sealed bags. They take up less space in your closet. Next, edit your unwanted decor items. If they no longer match your style, maybe it's better to find them an alternate home. Next, old remotes and cables. How many times do we find a box full of cables and we're like, I have no idea what this belongs to? No? Is that just me? Next up, worn out or unused board games. If you are a mama just like me, you probably have a ton of board games. So if your board games are missing a ton of pieces, if the board is all like broken and stuff, maybe it's time to declutter it. Next, outdated media players, followed by unloved artwork. And finally, in our living room for a quick declutter, unused or burnt out candles. Now let's move on to the bedroom. A clutter-free bedroom is fantastic, both for sleep and relaxation. Declutter these 10 items in your bedroom. Number 1, clothing you haven't worn in a year. That is a huge undertaking, and if you're interested in decluttering your entire wardrobe, I have a course dedicated just for that reason. You can check out the link in the description. Next, mismatched socks and worn out underwear. As a cleaning hack, if you do happen to have a loose sock, you can always put it at the bottom of your Swiffer mop and use it to Swiffer the floors. Next, old shoes, followed by unused hangers. It's best, by the way, to invest in velvet hangers instead of plastic because they take up less space. Outdated jewelry, broken or uncomfortable furniture, unread books, excess bedding, old makeup and skincare products, and finally, unused exercise equipment, which, by the way, we should not be keeping in our bedrooms because it distracts us from sleeping. Let's move on to the bathroom. Our bathrooms also tend to accrue a ton of clutter, and you really don't have to invest that much time into decluttering. So start off with decluttering old towels. If you are going to declutter towels, there are a lot of animal shelters that'll actually take in your towels. So it's a great place to donate them. Next, expired medication, empty or unused beauty products if this is where you store them, broken hair accessories, outdated toiletries, unused travel-sized items, empty tissue boxes. That's probably a really quick toss. Expired contact lenses, old toothbrushes. By the way, if you do happen to have an old toothbrush, what you can actually do is this is a great cleaning tool, and you can use it to clean around your faucets and around the rim of your toilet and any hard to reach area. So you don't necessarily have to toss it, but you could add it to your cleaning caddy. And worn out bath mats. Next up, home office. If you're enjoying my video, contribute to my coffee addiction by smashing the like button. If you're like me and you have a home office, keeping it neat and tidy can be difficult. Typically, it's because we just have way too much stuff on our desk. Start by getting rid of old receipts and bills. Move on to dried out pens and markers, broken office supplies, outdated tech manuals. Those can probably be found online as well, making it an easy toss. Unwanted promotional materials, excess cords and cables, unused notebooks or used up notebooks. Have you ever filled in an entire notebook yet you're holding on to it but you never reference it, ever? Outdated business cards. Does anybody still have business cards? Do you have a Rolodex? I'd like to know. Drop in the comments, do you have a Rolodex? Old software CDs and duplicate office supplies that you don't need. By the way, for a full list of what to declutter in every single room of your home, grab my free Ultimate Mom's Decluttering Guide. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. On to the closet. Closets can be a huge undertaking. As a hack, before I go into 10 items that you can declutter in your closet, what you can do is you can invest in a decluttering bin. So what that means is you put a bin in your closet. Every time you take out an item that you don't want to wear and probably will not wear, instead of putting it back on its hanger, drop it into the decluttering bin. That bin will probably fill up after maybe a month, maybe 2 months, and that becomes your decluttering bin. In the closet, declutter outgrown kids' clothing. I have to declutter my daughter's wardrobe 4 times a year. Next, worn out belts and accessories, followed by old handbags and wallets, unworn formal attire. When was the last time you wore that pink dress? Outdated fashion items, broken or single earrings, scarves and hats. How many do you really need? Stretched out or faded clothing, maybe the sweaters that have pills on them, unwanted t-shirts and tank tops, and unused shoe boxes. Although, as a home organization hack, you can actually use empty shoe boxes as containers for items around your home. On to our garage. In our garages, there's a lot of stuff to toss. Garages tend to be large versions of a junk drawer. So here are a few recommendations. Empty paint cans, sports equipment. Yes, sports equipment tends to make its way into the garage when we refuse to use it and never makes it back into our homes. Unused camping gear, old gardening supplies, empty cardboard boxes. By the way, those can be used for decluttering and donating purposes. Unwanted holiday decor. By the way, holiday decor is really good to declutter right after the holiday instead of taking it out, being like, I'm not going to use it this year, putting it back in the box and forcing yourself next year to make the same exact decision. So once the holidays are over, go through your holiday decor, and then the you next year will actually thank you for the you today. Expired cleaning products, unused moving supplies, tools and such, and finally, broken outdoor furniture. If you find yourself accumulating a lot of things that you will be decluttering, maybe you want to have a garage sale. If you're interested in having a successful garage sale, I have an entire podcast episode dedicated to just that. My podcast is called Let's Talk About Clutter. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Let's move on to our kids' rooms. Our kids' rooms tend to have a ton of clutter. It's literally like a revolving door of toys and books and activities and papers from school. So we really want to be on top of it, but here are a few simple things that you can declutter. If your kids are old enough, declutter with them. Why not? Outgrown toys, broken or incomplete games, unused art supplies, old school projects. Yes, the memories. Every time they bring home a project, we ooh and ah. That's exactly what I do with my daughter. And then 6 months later, I'm like, well, we've enjoyed it enough. Time to get rid of it. Worn out stuffed animals, of course, not the favorite stuffy. Outdated school books, small and unused baby items, and of course, hold on to those baby mementos. Just don't overdo it. Used up coloring books, broken puzzles, or puzzles missing pieces, and finally, musical instruments. Let's move on to our utility rooms, or cupboards, whatever you have. Declutter old cleaning rags, expired household cleaners. As a cleaning hack, keep your cleaning supplies where you use them. Next, unused paintbrushes, broken brooms and mops, worn out rubber gloves, unused light bulbs, outdated instruction manuals, excess extension cords, and finally, if you have them, old water filters. There you have it. Simple items that you can declutter around your home. Set a timer for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Get it done. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my weekly videos. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck on your decluttering journey, and always remember to be good to yourselves.